Hi, Sun Seekers. Welcome to Shakti Shringara. My name is Reena, and today is our first episode of the Vishavagyan series, where we talk about the scientific exploration of toxins, beauty products that are commonly found in the home. So the first one we're going to talk about is sunscreen. Today we'll talk about the good, the bad, and what actually works. Because the truth is, the sun is our friend, and we are meant, in fact, to chase it. But the beauty industry has sold us fear, keeping us addicted to chemicals that are doing more harm than good. And I suspect you know this. That's why you're here today. So today we're going to be breaking down what actually protects your skin. I'll give you a hint. It's not just SPF. We'll talk on the truth on toxic sunscreens. We'll talk about how your skin can naturally build resilience. And we'll cover what natural oils you can use as an alternative, additional protection, in addition to just regularly being out in the sun. And if you remember nothing else from today, I hope you remember this. Skin Kissed by Carrots will help you to keep chasing the sun. But before we talk about solutions, let's talk about who's profiting from our fear. So this is the big sunscreen $150 billion lie. So let's talk about who the biggest 5 beauty companies are. They're L'Oreal, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Estee Lauder. And these companies rake in over $150 billion annually across their personal care brands, with sunscreen being one of their top-selling products, and they rely on repeat customers to keep profits high. Last year, L'Oreal made over $40 billion with sunscreen as one of its top sellers. Johnson & Johnson has continued to keep selling chemical sunscreens despite numerous lawsuits over toxic ingredients. Unilever and P&G, this is funny, they push SPF, sun protection factor is what that means, as a daily anti-aging essential. That's funny. And that keeps customers dependent because they're not selling sunscreen, they're selling fear. By convincing people the sun is dangerous, you can keep someone dependent on a product instead of, learning how to build natural sun resilience. So here's what I do want you to know. People who avoid the sun actually have higher melanoma rates than those who get outdoor exposure. It's not sunlight itself that's the problem. It's how we're interacting with it. So instead of fearing the sun, what if we trained our skin to handle the sun better? And we'll get to that in a minute. But first, I want to tell you why store-bought chemical sunscreens aren't the best option, okay? Most commercial sunscreens rely on toxic chemicals that don't just sit on the skin. They enter your body, penetrating the skin and disrupting your systems, okay? So, the first 2 chemicals I'll talk about, well, I'm going to give you just a handful. There are so many toxic ingredients on the back of a sunscreen bottle that you and I could sit here for the next 24 hours talking about them. But just so you're armed with the top few, the most harmful, so that you can share this information with your friends and families where you need to, and you're walking with a little bit of knowledge as well. Oxybenzone and octinoxate are the first 2 I'd like to tackle. These 2 mimic estrogen. They disrupt your hormonal systems and they contribute to reproductive issues. Ladies, I know that you do not want your fertility affected. And gentlemen, I'm quite certain that I've never heard any gentleman telling me they want to be running around with moobies. So you want to run as far and fast as you can from these 2 chemicals. Avobenzone, it breaks down in sunlight. This is hilarious. I don't know why anyone would put a chemical into a sunscreen that you run out into the sun with, and that chemical breaks down fastest in the sun, breaking down into free radicals and then damaging your cells. Homosalate and octocrylene, they stay in the body for weeks. They've been found in human breast milk. Moms, you want to be careful from that one. Urine and blood samples, that's where they find them. Chemicals like BP3 and OMC, they get absorbed on application within minutes, and they have found them in the liver, kidney, spleen, and testicles. With repeated use, these chemicals are accumulating in our brains, where they become neurotoxic. No one's talking about it because the beauty industry likes to push SPF as our only defense, and that brings me to the next big lie. SPF. The SPF scam. I'm going to tell you why this is total bullshit. SPF only measures UVB protection, not UVA. Okay, UVB is the one that's said to cause burns. UVA is the one that penetrates a little deeper, going a little deeper into the skin. And this is what the industry wants to tell us causes aging and skin damage. So SPF does nothing for this. And yet it's marketed as an anti-aging product. So high SPF, a consumer will walk into a store. You'll walk into a store and you'll see a line of products and you've got SPF 50 and SPF 100. The common consumer will say that my SPF 50 is half of the protection of the SPF 100. That's not true. SPF 50 blocks 98% of UVB and SPF 100 blocks 99% of UVB. So the difference is minimal, and the cost that you're going to pay as a consumer is astronomically different. So, SPF is a marketing gimmick. You're welcome. Now you know. Real protection, it's going to be shade, gradual sun exposure at the right times, and of course, there's always antioxidants that you're eating in your food, eating good food. We won't cover that today, but that also helps. And natural UV barriers, and by natural, I mean that there are things that are found in our outdoor environment that we can put on our skin. And this is where real sun protection begins. I'm so excited that we've done the chemical portion of our talk, and now we're getting to the good stuff, which is where we talk about what we can use. So ladies, gentlemen, if you're watching, run to your cabinet, take that toxic sunscreen, take a look at the back. If you see anything I talked about, check that stuff in the bin, throw it in the garbage. Nobody wants it. Your friends don't need it. It's toxic. Throw it. And let's talk about what we can do to actually build proper sun protection. So solar callus, this is what I'd love to talk about first. This is how your skin builds natural sun resilience. And I learned this from my Guruji, Guru Pashupati, who's the Parampara Adhikari of the ancient Himalayan school of yoga, and also from Chad Davis, who's the author of The Prime Life, and he's my healthcare coach. And they both emphasize that our skin is strong. So it's designed to adapt to sunlight. Your skin remembers the sun just like muscles remember doing exercise. The process is called building a solar callus. So regular sun exposure thickens the skin's outer layer and makes it more resistant to UV. And melanin, which is the color in the skin, so if you can see my nice skin color, that I've got a fair bit of melanin, when your melanin production increases, your natural ability to absorb and then disperse, so it reflects the UV rays off before it can cause harm, is there from your built-in melanin. And red and infrared light from the sun, so being outside in the sun, is actually reparative. So it's repairing your skin at the mitochondrial level, and it reverses aging and damage. So being out in the sun is actually anti-aging in itself. So that's why people who spend time outdoors regularly, they don't burn very easily. Their skin's already adapted, and we can learn from them. The sunscreen industry would not want us to know this, so they would love it if we just keep buying those products. Okay, so now that we've covered off how to build up a solar callus, actually one more thing I'd love to add is that you don't want to just run out into high noon sun to start building a solar callus. Timing is key as well. So the hours between 8 and 10 in the morning, generally speaking, is when you should start trying to build up your solar callus. Early in the morning. Just be out there for a couple hours in the sun and build up until you're able to be out at high noon without feeling any burning or any pain. It's a gradual build. So yeah, that covers solar callus. And let's talk about how to choose the right natural sun protection for your skin type. Okay, so if you've got oily skin, you're going to want to stick to lightweight, non-greasy oils, okay? Oily skin, you'll know because you've got a lot of sheen across the forehead, usually on the nose. You know, when you see pictures and you're like very, very shiny all the time, you'll know you have an oily skin type. If you've got dry skin, you're going to feel like your skin's tight, especially after you have a shower. Your skin feels so tight and you feel like you need to moisturize right away. I would say that mature and aging skin would also go with the dry skin type because both need more hydration or thicker oils. And combination skin is when you have dry patches across the cheeks, and then you've got oily across the T-zone, so across the forehead, down the nose, and down the chin. And you can mix and match oils, so you can use something that's a little heavier where you're dry and then lighter over the T-zone. And for sensitive skin, I would also put into this skin type acne-prone skin. So sensitive skin and acne-prone skin are very similar because you get red blotches or breakouts. And you know, because you put something on your skin and it just causes rashes and patches and you get red and flushed from putting things on the skin, that you have sensitive skin. So for these skin types, let's talk about the types of oils. For oily skin, I say stick to lightweight, non-greasy oils. Carrot seed oil, which has an SPF of 35 to 50, which is a great natural SPF protection. It's carrot seed oil. You can buy it for about 350 rupees in India. You can buy it for $10 to $12 in the US, and both are available they're available in both countries online on Amazon. So Amazon.in or Amazon.com, you can purchase both of them. I've checked. Red raspberry seed oil is also there, and we'll get to that in a minute. It's in the same price range. But carrot seed oil, this is why I tell you, if you get kissed by carrots, your skin gets kissed by carrots, you can keep on chasing the sun, because it's very inexpensive, very good for you oil that is anti-inflammatory and very good for you, for your skin. Lets you stay on out there. So after you've built up your solar callus and you're a sunshine warrior, you want to keep going all the time, you want to be out at high noon, you can start to use some of these oils to be able to assist you to do that. And carrot seed oil also has beta carotene, vitamin A, and flavonoids. It repairs and defends your skin. And it also helps repair sun damage, fight aging, and reduce inflammation. Coming to inflammation, red raspberry seed oil, which I just spoke about, if you've got acne prone or sensitive skin, red raspberry seed oil is phenomenal. It helps prevent breakouts, and it helps prevent those red patches or blotching that you could get across the skin from having sensitive skin. So I definitely recommend red raspberry seed oil for people who are very prone to breakout or have very oily skin as well. If you've got dry skin, you're going to want more hydration. You can use one of the first two oils I mentioned, carrot seed or red raspberry seed. And you can add in avocado oil or coconut oil. I like myself to use shea butter because I like the texture of shea butter and I like the smell. And I'm also a huge fan of castor oil. So castor oil, add in very small amounts because it's extremely thick, but castor oil is so hydrating. I even use it on my lips, like as just like a natural lip gloss. For combination skin, again, as I spoke about, you'll use like a hydrating oil up here and then a drier oil across the nose and the chin. And you can also use carrot seed oil with maybe even a little addition of beeswax for the cheeks area, which is dry, or even the castor oil. And speaking of beeswax, that brings me to water-resistant sunscreens for swimmers. I am an ocean swimmer myself. I love to be out in the ocean. When I'm out there, I tend to get burned sometimes on the back of my neck or up here. I don't know why it's up here, maybe because it's what's coming up out of the water, but up here I always get a little bit darker. So if I can use a beeswax sunscreen that I've made myself, it has really good sticking power. So beeswax with coconut oil mixed with shea butter, and then also I will add in zinc oxide. We'll come to that. I want to tell you more about zinc oxide. You don't want to purchase a nano zinc oxide because you don't want to go into the skin. You want a zinc oxide because zinc oxide stays on the surface level. And if you've got a skin color like mine and you put zinc oxide on, you'll know your sunscreens even have them too, because it gives you a little bit of a gray ashy look on the skin. But it's phenomenal for UV protection. Chemical sunscreen companies will tell us that they have to make the sunscreen because they use big mechanical mixers in order to create these sunscreens, and that if you make them at home, you're not able to correctly mix them enough. But I have tried and used it many times, and I don't find much of a difference. So if you do make that, there is a double boiler method that you can use, and I'll put it in the comment section below how to double boil. And when you're finished with adding in your zinc oxide powder into your sunscreen, you want to whip it with like a blender or a hand mixer, and just do a really good job of mixing it. I find that it's pretty good and easy to get a nice even coating. What the chemical companies say is that you can't do it as well as they can at home. But for our purposes, building up a solar callus and wanting to use only natural products, I think it's a pretty good place to start. And you'll do great with the double boiler method and air whipping it at home with a blender. So for high altitudes, I've had questions about this because a few people are mountain trekkers. I also like to spend time up in the mountains. And we know that if you head up in elevation, UV increases, like I think it's 10% for every 1,000 meters. Every 1,000 meters in elevation, you'll get more UV, and you probably will want to use sun protective clothing in addition to sunscreen. But for a good sunscreen for a mountain trekker, you want something with sticking power so that it doesn't sweat off, and you'll want zinc oxide for certain. So you'll definitely want to put zinc oxide into your lip balm or into your sunscreen to be able to cover the face and the exposed parts, the hands. And yeah, so for my DIY sunscreen, how I like to make mine, I'm going to put it in the comment section below because it's quite lengthy. I mix a whole bunch of oils. I love the red raspberry seed oil because of the smell, and I like the carrot seed oil as well, but I also like to add in shea for the smell, and I add in essential oils as well for a scent. I am a girly girl. I like things to smell nice. Do not add perfume. This is really critical. If you're going to look at adding in a scent that you like, make sure it's natural, and number two, that it's not something that will exacerbate burning. You don't want to add in an oil that will exacerbate burns. So lavender is a safe bet. That's what I like to use mostly. Rose oil as well. I like the smell of roses or jasmine, some from the flowers. And yeah, we've covered off most of the basics. I would love to hear from you guys what you use in the comment section. Please tell me if you make your own DIY. And if you make a DIY and it fails, I would love to hear from you. Please tell me what the fail was. Let me know anything you feel about this video. If it's inspired you in some way to go make your own, come back and tell me how it worked out. If you've got different ingredients that you know about, I'd love to hear about that too. Any problems you encounter, I want to know. I'd love to make content that will help you to DIY better at home. And as a final takeaway, I want you to remember that your skin is strong. Your body knows the sun. Let's not fear it. We're going to train our skin. We're going to choose natural sun protection and let our body remember the light. And if you're done with letting the beauty industry tell you to stay in fear and keep us weak, and they want to profit off of our confusion, and you want to take control of your health, take it back, then please hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. I'd love to see you back here again, and let's start building real strength from the inside out. Nice to see you guys. Have fun in the sun, and I'll see you all out there, sun seekers. Bye. Namaste.